Tax Commission, excuse me, it's Monday, April 28, 2025, I should say the date too. And with a quorum of members present, we will call the Room Tax Commission to order. A couple items on the agenda this afternoon. Number one are the minutes of the previous meeting. That is from January 27th, 2025. If everybody has a chance to review them, I'll entertain a motion to accept. Motion from Rasmussen, second.
I'll second.
Second from Vandiak. Any discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And that carries. Item number two, discussion and possible action regarding tourism grant request applications. And with that also, we'll look at what we have available for room tax funds. And also, I think Tim White from the Convention and Visitors Bureau does have a little bit of an update he wants to give us too. So why don't we start out with Tim, and then we'll talk about the money. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Room Tax Commission, for the opportunity to present to you. I gave you a handout about some national research. About the first couple of months of the year, we did Oxford Economics did a really great presentation, and then they upgraded or changed and updated their presentation about 2 weeks ago. And so I just wanted to kind of clue you in on some of that from the economic outlook and what the forecasting says and what Oxford Economics said. If you want to see the whole video, you can. I can send that link to you. But a lot of recent research from MMGY, which is a global travel company, research company, and Oxford Economics, shows important national trends impacting travel. And most of them, I'll go to the economic effects first, is the uncertainty that's been happening economically, globally as well, has created some pressure. It's damaged consumer sentiment. It's looking towards higher prices, tighter credit, supply chain stress, and delayed investment recovery. In one sense, the biggest shock wave to hit the economy is uncertainty. That's the main thing. What's going to happen? When's it going to happen? What are markets going to do? How is my money affected? What can I do with my money? And so Oxford Economics said there's a number of trends, a number of travel and economic outlook trends. They expect a 4% decline in travel intentions in the next 12 months. 80% of people surveyed, they did a massive survey, say they expect to change their travel behavior. 33% will travel closer to home. 24% will choose cheaper transportation instead of flying. They'll probably drive. 22% say they will shorten their stays, and 29% will pick domestic over international travel. And of course, international travel, even though people will still be leaving the United States to travel internationally, international tourism coming in to the United States is expected to be a huge downturn. We have done some marketing in the Asian markets around the ginseng industry, and so that's going to affect that as well. And so knowing that we're aware of this and wanting you to be aware of it, I just want to kind of give you a response strategy of things that we are going to do as a result of this, in anticipation of this uncertainty. So we're taking some proactive steps to counteract the trends by promoting this region's value and accessibility. And so we'll be launching a campaign called, do you remember Escape to Wisconsin, those bumper stickers? Well, we're kind of want to go on traveler sentiment, and we're going to be already launched it, Escape to Wausau. Kind of showcasing this as a place to kind of escape to. We did a Great Nearby campaign on the shoulder season a couple of years ago for spring, and that got a little bump, 2 to 3%. We'll also lean into that as well, focusing on the value, proximity, and accessible experiences. We've met with our lodging community and talked with them about creating some midweek lodging packages, not only for stays, but also including a number of things, coupons, and remember the Dells would give all these deals out, right? And so we're working with the lodging and then our other partners to see what kind of midweek packages, Tuesday through Thursday, we can put together and promote that as well. So family adventures, women's group getaways, brewery distillery tours, outdoor enthusiast packages, that kind of thing. We're going to be producing blogs and itineraries to inspire travel and position Wausau as an easy, affordable, and fulfilling getaway. You'll be able to see our new marketing resources on visitwausau.com/marketing. Anytime you can see our assets on there, and it just keeps scrolling down to showcase what we're doing. And so, you know, despite national headlines and what's going on, we want to focus on value-driven travel this year, helping people to experience this great area that might be a little bit closer to home. And I think we'll be able to, you know, get some good results, especially working together with lodging and the other stakeholders and partners as well. Just a post report on the draft. We basically had 5 shuttles that we logistically were in charge of here, and filled them to the hilt, mostly with travelers from outside the area. There were a few locals, but we also sent 20 people to Minocqua. They couldn't fill their bus, and so we were able to ship some people and have them stop at Wausau. We're just getting some of the responses back, but people said, love it, the hospitality was great, love the area, do this again anytime, so that gives us some ideas as well. And don't have the economic numbers yet, but it definitely was, you know, an economic benefit to our area. It wasn't 600,000 people that Green Bay had, but I think I'm fine with the results. So that's it. Any questions at all? Anything I can answer? Again, thank you for your support and appreciate your hard work.
Yeah, I think that definitely the 600,000 attendees over 3 days, we're going to, you know, they're definitely get a little bit of spill over that. So that is a great event, and I'd love to see what the impact is going to be when the dust finally settles. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. White? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the update. And then Mary Ann, you want to kind of walk us through what we got going on here with our room tax funding?
Okay, so we have not closed out 24 yet. We are still waiting on one of the hotels to collect room tax dollars for fourth quarter of 24. But I've estimated for,
There we go.
so I've estimated for 2025, $1,050,000 as the revenue. I thought that was a pretty good estimate, but I don't know now after hearing that if it's too aggressive. But based on those projections and the estimated carryover that we have currently, we've got about 169 available. So you can see the events that we committed to in 24 that were 25 events, and those that are up for requests right now include Taste and Glow for $15,000, the Sports Authority for $14,500, Hmong Festival $20,000, Chalk Fest $3,000, and then unfortunately, our new software weeded out one of the applications. We think, we're told that it saw the email address that was attached to the application and felt it was a bad email, and so it didn't submit the application into the workflow for review. But we'll be testing that because the email address was fine. I tested it, you know, just through regular email. It worked fine. So we're not quite sure what snafu happened, but we're thankful that they called us and said, why aren't we on the agenda? And so we appreciate your accommodation to that application. That is for the EAA chapter for $10,000.
Okay, any questions on that? Paula Rasmussen?
Thank you. Just one comment. I think it's nice to see with the EAA event, we're always looking for new things that we haven't done yet before. We do see on the list of requests, a couple of favorites, but I think we're also looking for events that are unique and different that we've not done before. So I was glad to see that one pop up because it really is a great exposure, not only for aviation, but for our municipal airport. So we had talked about that event a little bit in the airport committee, which I chair, and so that committee is very excited about Air Venture Cup coming to the area. And I understand they have more pilots booked this year than the year before. So that event is growing and something that really can showcase our area. So I was excited to see that one pop up today in the packet. So,
Anything else? Not yet? Okay, so with the addition of the Air Venture Cup race, if we allocate everything that people are asking for, we would end up with 42,500 at the end of available balance. But it sounds like this doesn't account for,
Right.
The
There'll
rest-
probably be adjustments, yep,
be some adjustments, so there could, yeah, it'll be higher, so we.
maybe, yep.
So we should have enough to take us through the end of the year, so, okay. And with that, I think the best would probably be to tackle these applications individually. I don't, unless there's consensus that you want to do them all at once, so. All right, we will do them individually. First up is the Taste and Glow. And I know we've got a
I'll make a
representative.
motion to approve 15,000 for that one. It's all marketing.
Okay. So was that a yes or a no, or a?
Yeah, motion to approve it.
Oh, motion to approve, okay. A second?
A second.
Second? Any discussion? We do have representatives here from Taste and Glow if anybody's got any questions. Otherwise.
Where's the competing event?
Competing event is in Marshfield, so.
Okay.
Far enough away that it shouldn't cause too much of an impact to us, so. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, all those in favor of allocating 15,000 for the Taste and Glow, say aye.
I,
Opposed? And that carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, made it easy for you. Next is the Sports Authority World Cornhole Tournament. And,
This one I think we should amend a little bit. I think the 4,500 should be marketing, but I think we should put the 10,000 as like allocation to Sports Authority. We currently don't have an allocation towards the Sports Authority, is that correct?
It's in our, how much do we,
Is there a percentage still?
yeah,
Yeah, but it goes into a grant program that's restricted, so it's 3%.
Sure. I just think, well, if we're, what's the what's the grant that you're looking to match that for? Because if it's not marketing, I'd rather just take it out of, or add additional funds to the Sports Authority to keep us in line with what we're trying to do.
Sure. So on February 5th, I applied for Wisconsin Economic Development grant called the Opportunity Fund. It's a matching fund grant, and there I put in there I'm requesting 60,000. So if I need 60, I need 60 to match. I went to the Village of Weston to
And it's not cornhole,
it's the World
Horseshoe.
Horseshoe Tournament.
Oh, my bad.
okay,
You know, like your application didn't really say what it was, and I thought when you came to visit me, it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. No.
I thought it
worries.
was horseshoe when I was reading the application, and I saw on the sheet here, it says
Yep.
cornhole.
So it's the World Horseshoe Tournament for
Horseshoe
2026.
tournament.
Yep.
Same thing, you're throwing something. No,
So
So-
I'm just saying, because it's like a one-time special thing, I think we should just dedicate it a one-time, that $10,000, a one-time special addition to the CBB rather than work around it through marketing, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Okay, and I think that's something we can do, isn't it, or, with the funds?
The WDC grant is for the purpose of marketing?
Nope. I included my breakout budget within the application. Portion of it goes to the Green Heck Turner to cover the facility rental of it. But then also too, this is a Plan B if we don't have the air conditioning in place. But it looks like we're going to, so then I would be moving to the funds of buying the supplies that are needed with it. So we're also looking at doing the different sponsorships as well, but it is going to take an undertaking of getting everything that we need for this tournament for the 2 weeks.
I mean, I think of it like the draft, right? It's like a one-time big event that's coming that needs additional support to get it off the ground. That's why I think it needs to go separate.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice to make that way.
Then the other part of it would be go towards the marketing of it. So
Yeah, so my motion would be $4,500 out of like our marketing, and then just a one-time additional payment to the CVB
To
or
the-
Sports Authority,
To the
Sports
Sports
Authority.
Authority.
to the Sports Authority of $10,000 for use for the horseshoe tournament.
Okay, is there a second to that?
And we're in, just clarify, we are in line doing that, correct?
Yeah, because that's going through a tourism entity.
Yes, because they're a tourism entity, I believe we can do that.
Okay.
We already
weren't.
We already fund the Sports Authority.
We do,
Yeah.
But
right.
we can,
We fund it at a certain percentage, right? So it's
A
basically
percentage, so we
adding a
can-
percentage to it, a one-time.
we can give a flat
Bonus,
amount on
for
top of that
example.
Yes.
percentage for a one-time
I
thing.
think you
so.
can.
Okay, so we need a second.
I'll second.
Second from Rasmussen. Any discussion on that? Okay, not hearing anything, so the motion is for 4,500 to go to marketing and then 10,000 as a flat amount to the Sports Authority for the event. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And that carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is the Monk Festival. And I do see a representative from, for that here, if anybody's got any questions. So Yiling Zhang's here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Good
Yes.
afternoon. I can answer any questions that anybody may have. But just to give a little recap, a little bit from 2024, 14,000 attendees that were at our event here. We counted it by counting our wristbands that came in. We kept track with wristbands. That 14,000 though did not include volunteers who travel from outside the local area, vendors or VIP guests and sponsors that we brought in. So these are 14,000 attendees specifically for our event. We had over 100 vendors. We currently right now on our waiting list has 50 vendors that are waiting on our waiting list for openings. We actually tried opening up additional vendor spots as well too. So we have while other Hmong events are struggling with vendors, we are having our surplus of vendors that are wanting to be a part of our event as well. Just some social media impressions here. We had 229,000 impressions last year, which is an increase of 6,000 impressions from 2023. We had a 2,000 increase of link clicks from 2023, and we have 146,000 visits to our Facebook page, an increase of 10,000 from 2023, and we saw a 603% increase in our followers on our social media as well too. So it's now the largest Hmong festival in the state here, and we're glad to have our continued relationship and support from our community here, along with from the CVB and our incredible supporters in this area here as well. So just a little recap of the attention that we have on our event here as well.
All right, and I know with this festival happening in my district, it is definitely well-attended, so that's great. Alder Rasmussen.
Yeah, I had just,
Oh, thank you. This event, I think, continues to grow exponentially, and it really is an example of, one way that we can continue funding to showcase our community. I think that it's shown year on year that it is bringing room nights. It's generating a lot of travel. It's generating a lot of traffic throughout the community. I think that this is one that's reliably successful, and I feel like we should fund the entire amount on this one.
I have two quick how much is it to get in?
$10. Now it's $11 with the dollar public safety charge. I will be transparent. We are the most expensive one in the entire country here at this moment here. We're trying to offset the cost to try to lower cost, but I'll give you an example as well too. Portable potties is we saw an increase of like 20% as well for this event here. There's just so many people that we have to increase our portable restrooms. Cleaning has to be done more often as well. The tents company, we're trying to cut down on that, but we need to have enough shade in accordance with what Parks Department and also the public safety is recommending. We need to have enough garbage containers, and we're seeing increases in every year. Well, as our event continues to grow and the more people that's there, the more we're seeing that there's more expenses that needs to come from it as well. So we're trying to balance it out and start decreasing our costs, our admission costs, but we can't do that if we can't find that sweet spot at this moment here. I will be transparent that events like the International Freedom Festival out in the Twin Cities, they do their event for free, but that's because they receive a large grant from their state that provides funding for them to ensure that their event is free. And although I'm not saying that I want that at this moment here, I do want us to go towards a point where it's more cost efficient. But if we were at the $10, we would be in line with the International New Year Festival, which is the largest Hmong New Year in the country here. So we are pretty aligned with some of the other events as well too across the country. And despite the fact that we are $10, we still is the largest Hmong festival compared to like Oshkosh, who does their Memorial Day and Labor Day, and they charge $8, and they're still significantly less than our event as well.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of value to be had, and I'm glad to hear that you're offsetting some of that with an admission cost, because it is working to be a best in class event, and that's awesome. So I mean, every year I think I ask, is there a way that we can get it to be a little bit more solvent, and make that event stand alone a little bit better. But it is a successful event. That'd be my only thought. If you ever want to have a conversation on a hotel side or anything like that, tourism, definitely make myself available too. But
Definitely. Thank you.
Ms. Lewinsky, you had something?
I didn't see the exact breakdown of the budget in here. Can you just rough estimate what your marketing budget looks like?
Yes.
What's print, what's radio, what's...
Great question. So we contract with Nyeojong Milwaukee, who does a lot of our marketing, and they're roughly about $9,000 to do our marketing for us. Nyeojong Milwaukee is the only Hmong TV station that does flyers, that does radio ads, TV ads, and then we're going to contract as well with Hmong TV, which is another TV station for Hmong business, for Hmong as well too. So that comes out to be approximately about $3,000 with them. And then there's also work of us doing grassroots efforts where we're going to these events and hosting it. But in order for us to go to those events, we have to purchase booth spaces from those locations as well too. Memorial Day is about $500 just to go to that. So we also we would get literature, which comes out to be like $5,000 as well, to distribute literatures and distribute flyers, etc. as well at those events, because we distribute about 15,000 flyers every year at these events as well. So if I'm doing my math correct, that should come close to it. We do it with our local Hmong radio, because our local Hmong radio has outreach to the whole entire central Wisconsin area as well too. So we have vendors from the central Wisconsin area, but then we also do advertisement with Midwest Communication in the local area here as well too, so that their outreach is in the areas, their specific areas that's there as well. Yes.
Thank you. That's what I was asking.
All right. Any other questions? Otherwise,
Nope,
entertain a
I'll
motion.
put my ask in the form of a motion, though. I'll move that we fund the entire $20,000 for Hmong Festival.
all right. Second?
I'll second that.
A second from Bandiak. Any discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. Thank you. Next up is the Chalk Fest, and they are requesting $3,000. And we do have somebody from Wausau area events, so.
Hi, I'm Allie. I'm the executive director for Wausau Events. Chalk Fest, this is the first year that it is, historically, it has always been run by its own Chalk Fest committee. It is now an event that is completely under Wausau Events. This is the first time we're asking for marketing money, at least in my history with the organization, so the past 4.5 years. And we're planning to use it for social media, and then 1,000 of it towards our TV partnership that we have with Channel 7, so that we can match their ads and make them even go further. We've had some, whether it's the registration updates or the new safety aspects on the 400 block, like those bollards that are down there that have impacted our spaces greatly for this event, which is the spaces that are allowed for artists to color. And then same with our chalk prices and things like that going up, but we are planning to use this money to market to out-of-state artists. We're trying to get a list of about 20 to 30 featured artists from outside of the state to feature to bring into the area. We constantly get questions on how this event is run and how people can do it in their areas. It's a really popular event for our local area, and then we do pair this with our Wings Over Wausau Air Show, and then our Clear for Takeoff 5K all on the same weekend as well. So this money would all be used for out of state, but like I said, we're planning to target a lot of colleges, artists, and then high school artists as well with that money.
Any questions?
How big of a, you think 30 artists, you said?
That's what we're trying to get for that specific featured artist group. We have about 400 slots with the city, with the new safety measures that were put out. We had about 35 of those spaces that had to be taken away, that we can't offer this year, that we've been able to offer in past years. And then with the registration costs needing to be increased to cover our event expenses and then the public safety fee as well, we've had to go ahead and be more creative in our marketing for this event, which is where we're asking for the funding to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always viewed it as very much a quality of life event, you know, 10, 15 miles out. I know we get other people from further distances. Doesn't mean that it wouldn't be a showcase for someone to come to Wausau.
Yeah.
You know, just that's my biggest question. What is the actual opportunity here for
Yeah, a lot of
growth?
our artists do stay overnight. I mean, if you're curious on specific zip codes or number of people, like I can get that information for you. Our registration actually opens this Friday. But we do most of that on zip codes, and I'll be totally transparent. In the past, that's been the committee running registration, so we haven't actually seen any of that data. But that's something I'm curious this year to be able to do. And then again, we just want to be able to market to try to bring other people from farther away into this event.
Yeah, I seen the application that you're anticipating 75 hotel stays,
Yep.
so, okay.
I have just a point of clarification. I just heard you mention the public safety fee. Public safety fee should not apply to this event.
It's a registered event, though, so we were told if it's a paid to enter, a paid
No,
to
it's
register
sell
event.
tickets, it's admission tickets, I thought.
But it is an admission, at least from our interpretation, it is an admission event. So I guess that's a clarification question.
I think that's something that needs clarified, because I was under the understanding that that event is for admission tickets for the public. And so I think that does need some clarification. Events that were free to attend on the 400 block were exempt from that fee, just like concerts on the square.
I think the interpretation, I mean, is definitely something that would be under the council's control, but it would be similar to a race,
like a
where you
race,
have to
like a
pay
run or a
to
walk?
get into the race. It's considered a ticketed event, and I think it was the intention that they
So
would
the
have.
entry fee for the artist counts as admission?
Correct.
Okay.
Like a registration fee for like a marathon or
Right.
or a race or something.
Yep.
I see. I think that one of the things we talked about doing was taking stock of, when we get to the end of this event season, taking stock of how this went in terms of what its impact to events was, what its impact on venues and attendance was. And so, you know, I think the initial concept, at least, and I'm only one council member, but my perception of the fee was when you buy an admission ticket to enter the gate, much like Blues Fest or the fair, or, you know, so, I mean, I don't know, I guess if we're going to assess it for artist entries, that's totally different. So I think we need to, at the end of the season, really take stock of how this worked and how successful it was. I mean, we did just refine it for cancellations. You know, for when services aren't provided, people aren't getting charged as a measure of fairness. But I do think that at the end of the year, we need to take stock of that.
Yeah, yeah, I know that's, the public safety fee is a work in progress, and
It
I think, well, too, by the end of the year, we'll know what the, you know, what the public safety impact is, cost-wise.
Right, right.
That'll
Yeah.
help us tweak, yeah, definitely.
For
tweak
sure.
the
I'll make a motion, though, that we approve Chalk Fest for 3,000.
Okay. Second on that?
Second?
Second from Alowitsky. Any discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That carries. Thank you. Thanks, Ally. And then our last one, event is the Air Venture Cup Race. And I do see some representatives here.
I had just one question. The growing event attendance and registering new racers. I understand the other two, promotion at EAA and print media. What are those categories? Like, where are you registering events?
So those two categories are specifically for social media promotion. It'll be using different sets of media and copy, one targeting just general spectators to attend the event, and one targeting pilots and aircraft owners to register to race in the event.
And did we fund this last year?
No, so this is the first time, but they've ran this race for, I think, a while under the radar, I guess. It's been true airplane enthusiasts, correct? Rather than just the general public, and I think bringing it to the general public makes sense.
It is open to the general public, but we get, I think we had participants from 26 different states last year, including Canada and Mexico, and then a year before we had a participant that flew over from the UK. So we
Yeah, not much, though. I think it makes sense to open it more and really show the success that it is.
And for that, as far as that goes, last year at this time, we had less than 50 registered racers. We ended up with 123. Right before we came in here tonight, found out that we've already got 82 registered. So we're way ahead of where we were last year.
What's the date of the event?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, what's the date of the event?
We, pilots start, well, I'm going to answer it this way. The pilots start flying in on Friday, July 18th. We have an open house at the airport on July 19th. And we have the races. Races typically starts at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
I'll add that piggybacks kind of, it's the weekend before EAA, so people are welcome to stay in Wausau for that week and then go to Oshkosh, correct? You know,
One thing to keep in mind is there's 630 or 640,000 people that attend Oshkosh each year, and this is an opportunity for them to get. They're coming this way anyway, so it's an opportunity for us to promote the race, get people here to Wausau, get them staying here. Maybe they'll come a couple days early. Generally, for most people, they're coming for a week or longer, and so this is a great stopover, and it's an event that we can promote. Not only that, but our city as well. So.
And I'll just add that we'll target some of our marketing in locations that make sense for Wausau to be a stopping point on the way to Oshkosh. So things or cities to the north, northwest, that sort of thing.
Alder Rasmussen?
Thank you. I think also last year, I mean, even though the weather impacted the event, Wings Over Wausau really did call renewed attention to aviation in our area. And the fact that that's happening again this year, EAA is wildly popular in Wisconsin, we know that. And so the week before, if we can siphon some of that energy for a local event, I think that's fantastic. So I'll make a motion that we approve the entire amount.
And I'm sorry, this is not part of Wings Over Wausau? Not the same weekend, different weekend?
It's separate,
It's like 3 weeks after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the week before the EAA
Okay.
fly-in.
I'll second.
Okay, motion from Rasmussen, a second from Vandiak. Any discussion? And, yeah, definitely, I think that, have this event just prior to AirVenture will, hopefully it's a good incentive to get people to fly in, stay in the Wausau area for that time period before they head off to AirVenture. The one thing was, and I would assume that, since you're part of the the funding is for marketing to pilots and registrants. That's the part that kind of gets them to come to the Wausau area, or as part of our marketing expense. So, okay. Any other questions or discussion? Not hearing anything. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And that carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And any other, let's see, I think that's the end of our applications, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Real quick, Mike,
Yes.
Marianne, do we have anything, or I know we talk about it, that affirms the things that we funded from '24 and those things? Do we have that reconciliation, or that, at least just
I
that?
can have that for the next meeting for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds good. So, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Alder Henke, second.
I'll second.
Second from Van Dyck. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we stand adjourned. Thank you.